flying down with tomorrow. And I was like, imagine Jai Herbert finish that fight. That, like, I think that moment there where he almost KO'd Ilia Topuria was like a split in the timelines. Yeah, I mean, there was 2 timelines came out of that one. One of them, Ilia Topuria became the featherweight champion. The other one didn't. Like, what would have been the projection of his career if Jai Herbert had finished him there? Like,
Ilia would have fallen, like, slipped on a banana peel, bro. Like, it would have completely demoralized and dematerialized his career. And 100%. Jai Black Country Banger Herbert, which fucking killer nickname. Great nickname.
Would have been cut from the UFC by now. Because it would have got too much of a jump.
They would have Icarus affected that dude so fast. Just like give him to the top. Because again, like, imagine the fights that took place after that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Bryce Mitchell versus Jai Herbert. Don't love that for Jai, right? I don't know. Max Holloway versus Jai Herbert. Don't love that for Jai Herbert. How about Alexander Volkanovski? Don't love that.
Yeah, I mean, like, this was one of those. Boom, we're going 2 ways.
But you guys got to remember, this is up a weight class at lightweight though. When Ilia went up to take that fight.
Okay, you know what? You're right. So lightweight. So, okay, let's say that he knocks out Ilia. He's on that trajectory. He's on that path. I don't know. Let's say Jai versus Justin or Dustin or Armand. None of those fights are fun.
I mean, I would have loved to see the finishes. I'll tell you that.
Well, brother.
I mean,
obviously, you don't have to tell me twice to sell me on that.
Ilia's game has evolved and he has got better over that time, and now he's moving up to the lightweight. But if that fight happened at lightweight and Jai Herbert almost knocked his ass out, what do you think's in stock or in store for Ilia Topuria moving into the lightweight division now? Yeah, I mean, is that something to come? Yeah, I mean, is he going to be
Dustin
able to handle
eats him alive?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, like, is he going to be able to handle these bigger boys? Like, I'm not too sure. But anyway, let's get into the picks on this one. Cross, we'll come to you first, my man. Who are you going, Jai Herbert or Padilla?
I'm going Jai Herbert. I think the reach and Herbert just controlling the range is just going to be the difference. Definitely, Padilla is an accurate striker, very vicious with those elbows. So I think this is going to be a very competitive fight, though.
Yeah.
I'm going with Herbert. Why? Honestly, that head kick on Topuria, for me, that sealed it as to why I needed to go with him. Padilla's done some great work, but Jai Herbert, although my bigger concern is that as far as the odds go, I picked too many British fighters in a row, and odds don't favor that. So at this point, I'm skirting the red line of overcommitting on the British fighters, but I'm going Jai Herbert.
Fair. Owen.
Yeah, I'm following the trend here, man. I like Jai in this one from a betting perspective. I mean, it's a pick 'em right now. There is no favorite. There is no underdog. So for me, it's a close fight, and it's too close of a fight for me to really put a dog in the race. But gun to my head, give me Jai here. I think he's going to utilize the range to his advantage. The only thing that really worries me is Chris Padilla is very well-rounded, and he does have a pretty solid onslaught of grappling that he can utilize. Yep. If he's able to get on top, I see him making this a very long and tiring night for Jai Herbert. If he's able to get him down early on, it's even worse because he's just going to sap all the pop and energy that he brings to his striking out of the arsenal very early on.
Yeah, 100%. And on everything that you've just said, I am going to go against the grain, and I'm going to take another underdog and Padilla. Yeah, I mean, I always feel like Jai Herbert could find a way.
It's pick 'em odds. There's no underdog.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean,
he's an underdog on this show, Cross.
That's just like that time that what's her name said she won after it was actually a draw. That's literally what she just did, bro.
Why are you gay?
I can't.
I'm just throwing that out there, bro. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, so we're going against the grain, as I was saying before these dudes interrupted quite rudely, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm the host, boys. Just let me say what I'm going to say. You let always chat shit all the time. Just let me chat a little bit without calling me out on it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jai Herbert can always find a way to lose a fight. So I think that's what we're going to see in this one. I think the grappling is going to prove a little bit too much for him. And I can see it going to 3 rounds and Padilla taking it. But let's move on to that next fight before you call me out and any more of my bullshit. Up next, we've got Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan, the Pirate. Or the last pirate, whatever his fucking name is. Charriere. Where's Leroy to jump in here with a little French accent? With 26-0 for Nathaniel Wood, 20-10-1 for Morgan Charriere, 31-29, 168 to 173 centimeters height, and 175 to 175 in the reach, quite even there. England versus France. You know what I mean? Battle of old crossover. Give us those odds.
Nathaniel Wood's a +120 underdog, and Morgan Charriere is a -140 favorite.
Where did I go last time? Eeny, meeny, miny, Owen. You're going first.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are loving the pirate in this one. The last pirate. I like the way you said his last name the first time you said it. Little pizzazz on there. Charriere. It rhymes with derriere. That's always fun. I'm going against this guy though. I mean, he is the favorite here. Slight favorite, right? This isn't a heavy dog favorite situation. And I think, again, just like I said in the last match, but in kind of polar opposite fashion here, I'm going with the guy that I think is going to bring a heavier grappling onslaught in Nathaniel Wood. And again, you have a guy that's 20-10, you have a guy that's 20-6. Very similar records, but the difference is Charriere, he has just barely made it to the UFC. He doesn't have a wealth of experience inside of the UFC octagon. And I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. The guy's had more canceled bouts inside of the UFC octagon than he's had bouts that have taken place. There's a situation there, right? It's not always him pulling out. So it is a two-way street. But at the same time, like, this guy just simply hasn't had enough time to grow and foster the skills needed to be at the upper echelon inside of the UFC. Whereas his opponent, man standing across from him, Nathaniel Wood, who, I mean, missing an opportunity by not making his nickname carved of or made of wood, would just be amazing to hear Bruce say. I mean, the prospect, can we even call him that anymore, has had a lot of fights inside of the UFC octagon. And, you know, some have gone well, some have not gone so well. But he's been around long enough to fight the John Dodsons of the world, right? The Johnny Eduardos of the world. And those are the types of names and time that builds experience that you need to win these types of fights. He's going to dig deep. It's not going to be the funnest fight on the fight card, boys. I don't think it wins fight of the night. And I just think Nathaniel Wood wins possibly a boring decision here.
Boom. Yeah.
You know, Owen's giving me a lot of stress with these picks because he's making a lot of good points.
No. Like, Owen could be playing mind games here, brother. Don't listen to what he's got to say on the panel and think that's what he's going to put in for his picks. You know what I mean? Like, this man here is getting that. This man right here plays those games. Yeah, I mean, stop listening to these brothers and do you, Yao. Do you? There's a reason you're at the top, bro, and it's not from listening to these motherfuckers.
Especially that. Well, the thing is, this one was really close until he like fucked up last week, 2 weeks ago. Like he was like on my ass. Like he was just, anyways.
Mistakes were made, man. Mistakes were made.
Decision merchant. If it goes to decision, definitely Nathaniel Wood. But I think Charriere is going to find a way to finish it. It's only 3 rounds. He can push the pace. I don't think it's going to go all the way. It's going to be tough, going to be close, but I'm going with Charriere in this one by TKO, probably in the end of the second, maybe somewhere in the third. Maybe he slips in a sneaky guillotine or RNC and finishes the fight, because I spoke about it earlier. Decision merchants don't necessarily try to finish the fight. And when you come up against someone who's trying to finish you consistently, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And I think that's what's going to happen in this fight.
Fair shout. I'm going to jump in here, and I'll also say that the thing that kind of stumped me on this one too was Nathaniel Woods kind of starts off a little bit slow sometimes. You think back towards that Naimov fight, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, towards the end of it, he was on top of Naimov, had some dirty tricks in that fight. He was grabbing the cage, he was holding on to his glove, he was doing all the rest of it. And he was on top and he was laying into him, but it was just too little, too late, unfortunately. And based on where it was in the world, he was never really going to win that fight. But saying that, you do lean on the experience of what Nathaniel Woods had. Obviously, his activity has not been phenomenal. It's usually only like 1, potentially 2 fights a year at the most. You know what I mean? But I feel like that experience is going to take him over the edge. And over the 3 rounds, he is going to be able to grind this one out and get this one done. But the Frenchman is very dangerous just for the pace that he pushes from right out the gate. You know what I mean? Those opening rounds, I hope Nathaniel comes out fast, and I hope he comes out with something that Morgan Charriere won't be expecting. Cross.
Man, to me, this is a very tough one for me to pick. Like, Nathaniel Wood's just such a scrappy dude, always in there, just really tough guy. Morgan Charriere, I think he's a little more technical, but I'm just going to go with the scrappier guy. Give me Nathaniel Wood.
Fair. Let's have a little look. Who we've got next? Oh, this one's going to be a banger, boys. Jordan Vucenic versus Chris Duncan. 13-3-0, 12-2-0, 29-31, 178 in height for both of these men, 185 to 182 centimeters in reach. England versus Scotland. Yeah, I mean, this is a battle that goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. The Battle of England and Scotland is older than America, boys. How about that one? Yeah, I mean, like, you can go back fucking 1100s, 1200s. These brothers have always been fighting. Yeah, I mean, America didn't even exist when these dudes started fighting. That is one way to start looking at it. Yeah, I mean, both of them have got knockout power. Both of them can scrap. Is the problem going to get it, or is Vucenic going to sneak it in there with his second fight in the UFC? Crossover. Let's start with you.
Yeah, brother. I was on the same kick, man. Thinking about Braveheart and William Wallace with the Scotland versus England matchup. Duncan, for me, he's a little bit more of a brawler. We saw in his Dana White Contender Series fight, got hurt very badly, about to get finished, and ended up getting a finish himself. Vucenic made his UFC debut on short notice. Tough fight, looked very good in it, and I'm gonna go with Jordan Vucenic to get it done.
Ooh, Vucenic, by the way. Cross. Yeah, what's coming to you?
Yeah, I'm across on this one. I'm going with Vucenic as well. As much as his opponent Duncan is, brawler, he's beaten Bolaji Oki, one of the fans of Fight Week show. I think Vucenic is just going to have just the edge on the feet, definitely standing. I wanted to go Duncan, especially because of his experience, but I think Vucenic, even though he's got a loss in the UFC, his first fight in the UFC, to Guram Kutateladze, who's fighting on this card as well, I think he's going to manage to get this one through.
Boom. And I think Big Ank MMA makes a very good point here. Torres did sub Duncan. So, yeah, I mean, as an Englishman living in Scotland, I'm rooting for both guys. I'm happy if either one of them wins. Yeah, I mean, the epidemic is a problem, and he is fighting another problem. Yeah, I mean, so what I like about Chris's game is obviously he's been going and training with ATT. He's training with some of the best guys in the world right now. His game has come on leaps and bounds. He is able to get the 3-round decision. He is able to get that stunning highlight reel knockout. But we did see him struggle a little bit when it comes to the grappling side of things, and he did get submitted by Torres. Like, he does have solid grappling himself, but I think Jordan Vucenic has that little edge on him in that part of the game. I think when it comes to standing and banging, though, like, either one of these men could take it on the night. It's just whoever's chin's going to get taken first. Yeah, I mean, so on that,
is he going to go against it? What?
I'm going to have to take the epidemic. Owen.
Safe bet.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people really, really like this kid. I'm one of those people, right? I think the epidemic is a problem. Like you said, pun intended. He is an absolute animal inside of the cage. He did take his last fight on short notice. And I mean, it showed, right? He fought a very tough game opponent in Guram Kutateladze. But I'll be honest with you. I think this might be a bit of the Icarus effect here for the young man, Jordan Vucenic. He has fought and won very, very many times, right? He's got 2 knockouts, 6 submissions, 5 decisions. He knows how to grind. He knows how to work. But if you look at the last 3 people alone that he got finishes over, right? They have a combined record of 39-24. That's simply not the case if you're fighting UFC caliber people. So my worry is, are you able to submit somebody like a Chris Duncan whenever the going gets tough. And I know Chris Duncan has been submitted before, but again, I'm not convinced that Jordan Vucenic is as good as Emmanuel Torres quite yet. I think he's gonna be better than Manuel Torres in the next 2 years, but I don't know if he's that good today or tomorrow. For that reason, I like the dog in this one. I got to go with the dog in this one. Give me Chris Duncan. I think he gets it done. I don't think it's going to be an inside the distance kind of thing, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was. And he's plus 320 odds right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. I know it might be a trap, but darn it, I'm falling for the trap.
What's the odds on a KO finish on that one?
Let's see. By KO, by knockout, it's plus 750 for Chris Duncan. And if you want to hedge that bet, you can bet low on the plus 750 for Chris Duncan by knockout, and you can hedge it with a plus 165 taking Vucenic by submission if you're feeling bullish.
That is cheeky. That is cheeky. Oh,
smart money, baby.
15 minutes from me, no better way to support a local lad and a local gym along with Big Moddy. I just want to ask one question to you as well, Owen. Is that training at ATT got any kind of bias within your pick there, or is it straight and simple?
It's straight and simple. I try to add as little bias as possible. And Dustin Poirier is my boy. He obviously trains at ATT as well. But
that's why I asked.
I mean, if I did delve into kind of like where they train, that would add a whole other layer of confidence for me. And it's nothing bad against Jordan Vucenic or where he trains, but with all due respect, if you ask 100 MMA fans whether they've been watching the sport for 3 months or 25 years, do you know about the gym ATT? You'd get a very, very high percentage answer, yes. And if you ask that same 100 people, have you ever heard of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Northampton?
He trains in GB top team as well, I'm sure. I'm sure he goes down and trains with those boys sometimes.
Right. I mean, he mixes it up, but for the most part, he's still doing his camp, back at home, right? That's
true.
Like, if there's one thing I learned, and I've been to quite a handful of gyms now, I've gone to the AKAs, I've gone to the Victories, I've trained with Dwayne Ludwig and at a couple seminars. Like, training with different people, you learn a lot of different things. But if you train in one place, you might think that you're a lot better than you are. Yeah. And you're also plateauing. Like, we saw it happen with Luke Rockhold when he went down to Killcliff, right? He went from a really good gym to, with all due respect, Henry Hooft, which he's got good fighters, but he's not really teaching his fighters a whole lot. And that's why we saw Luke Rockhold just completely go downhill. That's the biggest worry for me. I don't think he's ready yet. I think, again, in a year or two, he's got the looks, he's got the attitude, he's got the personality, and the fight skills are just like a step away from being right there for him, I think.
I think also, just to throw a spanner in the works of my own pick, obviously you got Chris Duncan training with the likes of Grant Dawson, you know what I mean? So that grappling is going to have been brought up a couple of levels before we maybe see that submission. But sticking with the pick. Let's rock and roll on to the next one, boys. Molly Meatball McCann versus Alexia Thainara. Meatball Thainara. 14-7-0 versus 11-1-0. 34 and 27, 163 centimeters in height for each of these ladies at 157 to 170 on the reach is pretty damn impressive. One fighting out of England, the other one coming out of Brazil. Cross.
So Molly McCann's a plus 180 underdog, and Alexia Thainara is a minus 220 favorite.
Boom. I went back and forth on this one. Obviously, it's a bit of a short notice fight for Alexia. Molly McCann's previous opponent stepped out, and then obviously she stepped in. I did consider to go with Molly, but you look at her record and how she's done in the last few fights, and I just don't know if she's going to be able to get this one done. You go and have a look at Alexia's record, and she's got a lot of power in her hand. She's got a lot of finishes in there too. That reach is considerable, and there's a reason why she's stepping in there as the favorite. So I'm sticking with the favorite in this one, boys. Cross, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm going with Alexia Thainara as well. You know, a 5-inch reach advantage, has 6 submission wins on her resume, and we all know like McCann on the ground. She's kind of a liability. And can't get subbed and can't get exposed on the ground. So that's why I'm going with Alexia Thainara.
Boom. Owen?
I'm going with Thainara. I think she's going to get it done inside the distance, if I'm being completely honest with you. Molly McCann has lost me money, whether I bet on her or against her. So I can't in good faith put any money on Molly McCann. And Matty Betts, who's a pretty big name. He's been hitting a lot of his mixed martial arts bets online. He does this thing called the cycle parlay, which is one of my favorite things he puts together. So one win by submission, 1 win by decision, 1 win by knockout. He actually has her as the submission lock of the night. I'm leaning towards him being correct on that. I think she puts together a lot of really, really slick grappling whenever she gets the opportunity. And let's face it, Molly's going to likely give her the opportunity to do so. And when it's on the feet, Molly's really strong, but as soon as she starts to eat shots, she has the Ronda Rousey habit where instead of putting her hands up, she drops her hands and moves her head back out of range. And that works until it doesn't work, right? That works up until you get clipped and knocked out. Because if your chin's up, it's very easy to just hit the reverb on that brain up top. So yeah, I'm worried for McCann in this one. I am a McCann fan. I actually love her on the mic. I think she's hilarious, genuinely herself. And I don't want to see her lose, but I can't bet on her to win.
Boom. And we have S-Dogs MMA in the chat. The fucking boys. What's happening, brother? Why are you not on the panel, bro? Why are you not on the panel? If you're in the chat, why are you not up in this bitch? You know what I mean? And before we jump on down to Yao's pick, just a little side story on this one. So UFC London, not last year, year before. We were at the Fighters Hotel having drinks or whatever, and we were leaving. Molly was there. She'd lost the fight, fair enough. I think that was when she got caught in the armbar and her arm was pretty banged up, and she was like chatting away to somebody. And as we were leaving, I went over with my mate Shauna and my cousin Robbie, and it's just like we said, "Oh, we'll go say hello to Molly, get a picture before we leave." Yeah, cool, no worries. So we walked over, said, sorry, like, don't mean to interrupt. Any chance we can get a picture of you, please, before we leave? Blah blah blah. And she was like, yeah, no worries. And a friend was like, yeah, I'll take the picture. Gave him my phone. We all started lining up to take the picture. And Molly's like, did you even say please? I was like, but she was fuming. I mean, fuming. She was like, did you even say please? I was like, she's a swing for me in a minute. And I was like, I think I did. But if I didn't, then, you know what I mean? Like, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, and I was getting absolutely scowled at. Like, she fucking ran through me with her eyes, and I was like, oh my God. And then we lined up to get this picture. The dude takes the picture, and you should just see the face on her. She was like, just not happy at all. And I was
like
just
a
like,
meatball.
I was like, bro, what even just happened there? Like, she did you even say please? Like, she raised the voice and everything, like shouting at me. I was like, holy shit. I was like, even if I didn't say please, like I was polite. You know what I mean? I came up and said, you know what I mean? Sorry to interrupt. Any chance we could do this? Like, I wasn't up like, hey, Molly, let's get a picture here. I'd take my phone. Do you know what I mean? Like an absolute dickhead. Like, I just went up polite as anything, asked for a picture, and I got a row. That was my meatball McCann story. So, Yao, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, no, she's a meatball. She loves it, and that's what she is. In this one, like Juice Man 562 said in the chat, Molly does not do well against Brazilians. Unfortunately, she doesn't do well against the grappling, the jiu-jitsu that comes out of Brazil. So I'm going with Thainara in this one. I think as much as she's only coming off the regional circuit now, she's just going to outclass Molly just a little bit. Molly's a little bit dirty. If Thainara lets this be a dirty fight, Molly could win. There could be an elbow. There could be something could happen. But I think she's going to keep it clean, keep it technical, and win this fight, definitely.
Yeah, spinning elbow. You reckon that's going to be coming in there? That trademark move that
not
she
from
seems to have
McCann.
now as well. Yeah.
She'll try, but she's not going to
She's
land.
definitely going to throw it. What's the odds on her throwing that one, boys? What do you reckon? What's the odds on her throwing that? We'll
minus 600.
Yeah, easy. Like, easily
more.
it's going to be in there.
Or
Raj is coming at Owen, bottom left guy is butchering names left, right, and center. Dude, this guy absolutely nails it. He's got the radio voice that none of us do. You know what I mean? He comes in and he practices every single show before he jumps on. He stands in the mirror and he practices all
No. But hey, just like I said in the chat, I mean, if you're going to come in here and hate on it, I mean, at least hit me with some phonetics. Tell me how to say it right.
Oh yeah, line it out. Let's see how the pronunciation should be going, brother. Yeah, I mean,
because trust me, I said that name differently the way that I had heard it, and I had someone in my chat literally yesterday type out the phonetics in a different way, which is why I just said Thainara, because that's how it was literally typed by 3 people in my chat yesterday. So maybe they're wrong. I don't know.
Bro, I probably butchered it too when I first launched it. I mean, but big shout out to Raj. He's cool, bro. He's cool.
No, I appreciate it. I'm not mad at it. Like I said, if I'm getting it wrong, help a brother out, bro. Tell me how to get it right.
And we're moving on to the next fight on the card. We have got Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. Now, when's the last time Gunnar Nelson fought? It's been a little while, isn't it? I mean,
2 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, it was a little while ago. And I think, was it 2017? Gunnar Nelson was in Scotland. That was the last Scotland UFC card as well. I'm dying on them coming back up here because then I don't need to spend all this money on hotels and all the rest of it. I can just drive to the arena, watch some fucking violence, and then drive the fuck home. You know what I mean? But nah, they keep going to London, went to Manchester, and now they're back in London again. But anyway, let's crack on with this. Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson, 26-13-0, 19-5-1, 32 and 36, 191 to 181 in height. We've got 206 to 183 centimeters in reach. Kevin Holland coming in there with a reach. And we've got USA. And where the hell is that, boys?
Iceland.
Is it Iceland? Why is it an S?
I don't know.
Why would they not just put ice? That not make sense.
I think when they do like abbreviations and stuff, they do it out as like like island.
Yeah, whatever. Let's just put ice. You know what I mean? That would have been the easiest thing to do. Cross, give us those odds.
Kevin Holland is a -100 and Gunnar Nelson is a -120.
Boom. Who's not gone first in a while? Yeah, let's come to you, bro.
Yeah, so this fight, I'm going with Nelson. He's got an extensive submission game. He's got many submissions on his record. And unfortunately, our boy, the Trailblazer, does not do well against submission artists. We've seen him improving. He's tried. Every time he comes up against a submission artist, he tries, but he just doesn't have what it takes. Yes, he's dropped back down to welterweight where he's more comfortable, he's more skilled than at middleweight. But I think the submission wrestling from Gunnar Nelson is what's going to win him this fight. I think, unfortunately, Trailblazer is going to take an L on this one.
Boom. It's funny. Obviously, he's dropped back down, but like I said before, I was talking to my mate Shauna about some of these fights, and he was saying that he's going to be back in Holland, and he was like, he doesn't lose 2 fights in a row, bro. And I was like, but he does, though. I was like, have you looked at his record? He's won in his last 5. Yeah, I mean, 1 in his last 5. It was like, I was like, but he does lose 2 in a row. It's there clear to see on Tapology. Just go and look at it. Yeah, I mean, shit. Owen, let's come to you, brother.
Man, shout out Miss Mary in the chat. Shots on Nelson. Absolutely shots on Nelson. Hive mind. Good. I'm in the same spot here. The shot is definitely on Nelson here, folks. I don't have much more to add. I think Yao already took all the meat off the bone, if we're being honest here. He called it exactly how it's going to play. Our guy Kevin Holland has just struggled when it comes to the grappling as of late. And I mean, for most of his career, I truly think that if he switched training camps years ago and decided to just focus on his nutrition and staying at 170, could have been a world breaker. But unfortunately, that ship has sailed. He's not getting any easy fights. If the easiest fight you can get is Gunnar Nelson, good luck, bro. Gunnar Nelson, as y'all said, he has a ton of submission experience. And like, for fun, when he's not out there in the octagon fighting for money, he's like, just having a friendly grappling match with the world's strongest man, the Mountain from Game of Thrones. And I think he like snapped one of his own ribs while he submitted the guy. So that's what this crazy like Viking man does for fun. I'm worried for Kevin Holland in this one. I think he's going to snatch up a neck or an arm fairly quickly while both men are pretty dry. And we'll see Kevin get an easy paycheck for his show money. But that's about it.
That is one thing that you can say about Kevin Holland is like the most active fighter in the UFC or some shit. Yeah, I mean, the man is always up to scrap, and you got to give it to him. Yeah, I mean, hats off, and you got to respect that. But I'm with you boys as well. I think Gunnar Nelson's going to be taking this one. Like we see it too many times when it comes to the grappling side of things with Kevin Holland. He just kind of gives up. You know what I mean? I mean, even in a striking match, especially against MVP now, MVP is unorthodox. He is very, very fruity in the way that he comes about things. Yeah, I mean, and you can see the frustration in Kevin Holland. I don't see a way for him to win this one. I don't think any of the striking that he's got is going to phase Gunnar Nelson, and if it goes down to the ground, he's definitely going to have a little bit more strength behind him to be able to get a submission win on this one. I want to know what Owen finds so funny. But Cross, let's come to you for your pick.
Man, on this fight, this one's very tough. Gunnar Nelson, the time off, been out of the octagon 2 years, and then with you guys saying Kevin Holland losing 2 fights in a row, so that means he's due for a win right now. But honestly, the way he's been looking in his last fights, it doesn't even look like he really is coming in there to try and win. He's just showing up for a paycheck, getting paid, and trying to get out of there. And with that even said, it's still tough for me to pick Nelson just because it's a 9-inch reach advantage, but I'm just going to go with Gunnar Nelson.
Boom. Yeah. Like you say, he's due a win, but I don't think the maths is going to be mathing when you're looking at it. Like you say, just turning up for a paycheck. Dix Insider says Gunnar can't punch his way out of a paper bag.
He's not wrong.
Sleep him in round 2. That would be interesting to see if he can do it, mate. Gunnar doesn't have smothering pressure to make Holland wilt, bro. We will see. We shall see. Yeah, I mean, only one more sleep. I'm gonna hold you to the Gunnar pick normally. I'll see you soon. Oh, Juice Man's coming at you, bro. You willing to put a little shot bet on that, Juice Man, or what? Yeah, I mean,
I'll put a shot on it.
Holland W all day long. Even Leroy is chiming in that his picks don't really matter. I love Nelson, but I reckon Holland does it before the last bell. Ooh, interesting. 1K in the house. 1K? Cross, have you hit that bad boy?
No, I haven't hit it.
No? Oh, I thought you might have gone up and hit that.
S-Dogs hit it.
S-Dogs hit
it yesterday.
Oh, damn. Let's go, bro. Let's go. You know what I mean? And I hope you got those watch hours there as well to start getting paid, son. You know what I mean? Because he's putting in the work. Let's get it. Let's keep that train rolling, people. If you ain't already following S-Dogs MMA, head on over to that channel now. That's S-Dogs MMA Talk. Yeah, I mean, you'll probably see his name running along the bottom of the prediction show banner. Maybe not, because he ain't got his ass on this yet. I mean, but anyway, get on over there and sub to that man, and let's keep it moving, people. Yeah, I mean, and make sure you sub into each and every one of these legends as well whilst you're there. Yeah, I mean, let's get on to the co-main event, people. And I'm gonna butcher this name, even though I shouldn't do. Yeah, I mean, Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Olsberg. Yeah, I mean,
masterful.
Anybody want to chime in with what it is?
Blachowicz.
Blachowicz. Fuck, I always struggle.
I say Blachowicz. That's what I'll say.
I honestly, bro, like if there's any name in the UFC I've struggled with for years with, it's Jan. At
this point, I'm just going to lean into doing the names wrong for this episode. I'm pretty sure it's Jan Blachowicz. Or no, sorry, it's Blachowicz. Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. Pretty sure that's how you say it.
29. Fucking hell. 29, 10 and 1, 11 to 1 and 42 and 34, bro. That 42 years age and the way off that this man is, it's scratching right there. You know what I mean? 183 centimeters, 193 in height, and then 198 to 196 in the reach. We got Poland and New Zealand coming in this one. You know what I mean? Carlos Ulsberg is every woman's pants favorite. So let's get this one absolutely rolling, and we'll have Owen kick it off for us after Cross has come in with the odds.
Jan Blachowicz is a plus 240 underdog, and Carlos Ulberg is a minus 290 favorite.
Boom.
Man. I think Ulsberg definitely has a shot here. Dude, I'm doing it on purpose at this point. No, I think Carlos Ulberg is definitely going to come out here and take it. But I will tell you, watching the ceremonial weigh-ins today, Jan Blachowicz, the way that he walked forward and stared down that man, I was scared watching it. And I went back and rewatched it, and I noticed that Ulberg literally, when they lock eyes, like 2 seconds goes by, he's locked in, And he has to like look away for a second, like, oh shit. Whew. And then Jan like gets underneath him and starts staring up at him. Like just terrifying confidence coming from the 42-year-old man. I know he's on the wrong side of 40. Hell, he's on the wrong side of 35 in this sport. But the man across from him is just now coming into his prime. Carlos Olberg. He's 34 years of age, 6'3". And I mean, there's not a huge reach discrepancy here. 1 inch is nothing in light heavyweight. And when you know how to use your footwork and your striking, like Carlos Olberg is the type of guy that can knock you out with a jab. He's disgustingly strong. He has what we call the touch. And we've seen Jan get hit hard before. We've seen him on wobbly legs. I think this is unfortunately going to be the end of an era, the end of the era of Polish power. It's going to be a tough year, folks. We're going to have to watch a lot of our favorites either get beat and have moments where we think they should retire, or we're going to have to watch some of our favorites retire this year. I think this is going to be one of those nights. Unfortunately, going Carlos Olberg as a fan of Olberg and as a fan of Jan.
Good shout. Good shout. Yeah, what's come to you, bro?
Look, legendary Polish power. I can point back to Glover Teixeira winning the title at the age of 42, and I mean winning the title. So I'm going Blachowicz. He knows how to fight these fighters and go to decision, especially with fighters like Olberg, who come with the forward pressure. He hits you. We saw what he did to Ankalaev. Hits you with that low kick, hits you with that low kick. Next thing, your game is slightly off. And the lack of experience from Olberg, not saying he's not experienced. He's 11-1. He's fairly experienced, but like you said, Olin, he's only now coming into his prime. Blachowicz knows how to handle fighters like this. He's handled Pereira. He's handled the best. So I think he's going to eke this one out, try and call for another title shot, and then maybe not get it and then retire. But I think he definitely wins this one.
I think, like, you made a very good, solid point with the leg kicks there. Is probably going to put Olsenberg off his game. I think we also need to... I know Olsenberg has got some grappling himself. He's had submission victories. I mean, he's pretty decent. But I think Jan's probably going to lean on the grappling side of things. I think he's going to be looking for the takedown. He's probably just going to try and hold him there. He's probably going to try and work his way towards a unanimous decision on this one. But in saying that, I've got to go with the younger fighter. That 42-year-old man coming in off a 2-year layoff after some serious shoulder surgery that he's had, or elbow, whatever the hell it was. I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, he might have had a wicked stare down. It was a little bit of a difficult one, especially when you're looking at the experience and things too. But I've got to take the younger fighter in this one. Cross.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, Jan Blachowicz, 42 years old, been out almost a year and a half with 2 shoulder surgeries. Father Time's undefeated, and I think we're just gonna see that he's slowed down a little bit. And when you're at the top of the top, once you slow down a little bit, like the gap, like it's very noticeable. And I just think, coming back off the surgery, being a little older, getting back in there, I don't think we're gonna see the same Jan Blachowicz. So I'm going with Carlos Olberg.
Boom. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to let the man himself introduce this one as we move on to the main event of the evening. Boom. Let's get into it. Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards. Yeah, I mean, Leon Edwards coming off that loss and losing his title against Bilal Muhammad in Manchester last year and making all the excuses under the sun about being tired because it was 7 o'clock in the morning. Bro, I was in that arena too. I wasn't tired. You know what I mean? I was sitting there. It was 5 o'clock. It was 6 o'clock, whatever it was. I wasn't fighting though. There's a big difference. 22-4-0, 17-1-0, 33 and 32, 188 to 178. He's got a slight little bit of a reach advantage. Leon Edwards does, and 188 centimeters, 184. Slight little height and reach advantage, boys. You know what I mean? Why is Leon Edwards down instead of being England as Great Britain when some of the other fighters at Leroy's little cards here have had England? Bro, sort your shit out. He could even be going down as Jamaican if you want him to be. You know what I mean? And then fighting out at the USA. Cross, hit us, bro.
Leon Edwards is a plus 130 underdog, and Sean Brady is a minus 150 favorite.
And we're gonna stick with you, brother. Let us know who you're going with.
I think Leon Edwards, that fight he had against Bilal Muhammad, definitely put a bad taste in his mouth. I think he's going to come back with something to prove here. Yeah, we know he didn't handle the pressure of Bilal Muhammad well at all. And Sean Brady definitely is a grappler. That's definitely what he wants to do. But I just don't think Sean Brady fights with that same forward pressure as Bilal Muhammad. And I think Leon Edwards is going to be able to control the range. So I'm going with Leon Edwards.
Boom. Interesting. Yeah.
Look, I know Bilal sucks, but this is the battle of Bilal's sons. They both lost to Bilal Muhammad. That the only loss on Sean Brady's record is Bilal Muhammad. So looking at it, they obviously both don't deal very well with wrestlers. But if I look at the fact that Leon tends to be, and I don't want to call him, and I said this many times on this show for some reason, don't want to call him a decision merchant, but he tends to fight his way through the entire fight. The difference here is that he's got 5-round experience, whereas Sean Brady does not. So the question is, will Sean Brady be able to pace himself for a 5-round fight? Because we know Leon fights 5-round fights. That's really where the difference is going to be. But I'm going with Sean Brady. I think he'll be able to finish it earlier than that. He won't need the 5, which won't be good for his experience because he needs a fight that takes him 5 rounds. So he's got the experience in the future. But I think he's going to finish it probably in the 4th, even though that's when Leon usually catches the second win. But I think he's going to finish it in the 4th. Sean Brady.
Owen, give us your expert analysis and please butcher these names.
Let's see here. Who do we have here? We have, I believe this is Leon Edwards and Scene Brady. Look, I know Brady's stepping up on about 8 days' notice, but I think Scene is looking to do just that, folks. He's looking to be seen in the big lights in the octagon, in the UFK, as I like to call it.
The UFK. I like to say the
UFK. You know what I'm saying? We like to commit to the bit here. No, I think Leon Edwards is definitely getting massively disrespected. Shazwat Raj said in the chat here, Leon being a dog seems to be a result of recency bias. And I 100,000% agree with that. I think it's pretty asinine, right? He's fighting in his backyard. He is a former champion. He's a world-class fighter. And with all due respect, I don't care if he's not your favorite fighter. I don't care if he's your mom's favorite fighter or not. What I care about is the fact that he is, lo and behold, one of, if not the best, defensive specialist in all of mixed martial arts. The way that he's able to go out there and systematically dismantle somebody else's game, a game in which they're better at than him, by the way. We saw him do it with multiple grapplers. He's not a grappler, but he's able to anti-grapple in a way that we've only seen a handful of top-tier athletes in this sport be able to do. I like Scene in this one, Scene Brady. I think he's going to come out here and try really hard to get these takedowns. But I mean, Sean's just going to have a tough night, man. I hope he packed a lunch. As Yao said, he hasn't had to fight in 5-round fights before. And the only time or two that he's been scheduled in a 5-round fight didn't really go the distance. So it's tough. We also saw Bilal knock him out. That's not something we ever see Bilal do. And, you know, I know a lot of people like to hate on Bilal. I'm actually a fan. But again, like, we know he's not known for knocking people out. He got a knockout on Sean Brady. What do we think someone that is a prolific striker is going to be able to do on him if he's able to hit him at distance? And with all due respect, I think Leon's going to be able to hit him at distance, and he'll probably be able to piece him up at distance. Give me Leon in possibly not the most exciting fight of the night, because I think he's going to be playing a very tactical defensive game plan in this one. He just needs to get a win in front of the crowd. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to be flashy. He just needs to get a W on the board.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to hit the "you'll do nothing" button there, McDane, as Olin said that, but let's go.
I haven't got it. You know what I mean? I haven't got it. But it took that fucking long to come out with that breakdown. I was sitting thinking.
Today, Junior? There's a little snake. There's a little snake in the grass.
Hey, sorry, bro. Yeah, I mean, I've only got 8 of them. I've only got 8 of them lined up.
He's got to use all of them the whole show. He's got to make sure they all get used.
It's okay. It's okay, guys. He just now started training, but you know what we're gonna do?
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
I told him to send me this, and I'm still. He was like, "Yeah, bro, I'll send it."
I can't send it to you before I use it on you at least once. I'll send it to you right after the show.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the gym, bro. I'm not gonna show you how to throw the kick until I hit you with it.
Nah, that's not cool. That's not cool.
I mean,
at all.
that's how it works, bro. That's how it works.
Whilst
All the cool shit I've been taught, it hit me first.
15 minutes to describe that fight. We'll have a little look over the chat and see what everybody else is thinking. Leon's going to get submitted in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Dixon Sider, Shauna gonna diddy him all night long in that cage. Yeah, I mean, Leon does get discredited very quickly for that. He actually has. And Bilal KO was all Coach Khabib in his corner, probably 100% right there. I just think the fact that Leon has trained for Usman, Colby, and Bilal back to back will translate to his success against Brady, whose bet win is a washed up Burns. I think.
Wait, there's one you missed about the staph infection that we saw on Leon's elbow, which could have put him on antibiotics.
I did click it. So, and I was going to touch on it. Yeah, I was going to touch on that too. So just in case anybody else had missed it, but Dixon Sider said only time he cornered him and only time he ever got a finish, which is true. How does McDane not have chi-wee-wees? That's another one. That'll be getting added shortly too, brother. Don't you worry about it. There was another one that I got that I asked Owen for a little while ago too, and I'm not added that onto it yet. But that is can I get a yeah? Yeah, I mean, so that one's going to be coming soon. But yeah, stay tuned for the soundboard updates, people, because it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I've also started clipping a bunch of you motherfuckers. So wait until you hear your own voice come back on a soundboard. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? Especially with some of the takes that you guys come out with, it's gonna be fun to fire some of them in there. Yeah, for me, I went back and forth on this one. Like Raj mentioned a minute ago, I washed Gilbert Burns. I don't know if you could say I washed Gilbert Burns. You look at that fight against JDM. I mean, he was winning it until he wasn't. You know what I mean? When that big knee came up in the middle and it kind of just took him out of there. I don't know if you can say that Gilbert Burns is washed just yet. Bro always turns up to fight. You know what I mean? And I think how Sean Brady went in there with the pace that he went in with, the grappling that he went in with, that is going to speak volumes if he can do that and get past the range of Leon Edwards. Like Leon Edwards kicks, as we all know, can get him a Hail Mary and save him on the night, even when it looks like he's on his way to losing a fight. Yeah, I mean, don't let him bully you, son. That's another one that's going to get added. But going into this one, I still don't know, boys. I'm leaning Brady. I'm not going to lie. I'm leaning Brady. And I know what you're saying where he is, you see Leon as trained for grappler after grappler after grappler, but hearing that staph infection side of thing, as Yao just mentioned, as somebody else commented before, the antibiotics and all the rest of it kind of going into this, and all Leon's been getting asked about all week is Bilal, and I'm thinking, how much is his mindset in going into this? Is he going to be thinking about this stuff too much? Is he going to, I wouldn't say over emotional, but is it going to be in the back of his head this entire time? Is that going to make him twitch and think about the takedowns a little bit too much? Is he going to be thinking more, kind of like we've seen with Ank and Pereira? Is he going to be thinking more about his opponent's game than his own game? You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of thinking, where's he going to be going into this one? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to take Sean Brady on this to turn up on short notice and get it done. Especially as well, I've kind of got to do it. We've seen a promotion last weekend with Sean Brady on it, and his daughter's name is Vader Ray. And as you know, my daughter's name is Vader Ray. You know what I mean? So I've got to, as the rambling dad, he's got to back another dad in this one to get the victory, boys. So that rules that out, rounds it all around. What are we saying about these dog of the weeks? Owen, you got some work to do, brother. What you picking?
Man, what am I picking for my dog of the week? Let's see. I went back and forth on it so many times. I actually don't remember who I actually submitted. Let's see. I'll tell you right now, though.
I actually can't even remember what dogs I picked.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I know I literally typed it up, and then I went back and forth a few times. I actually locked in Marcin Tybura as my dog of the week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then other dogs I picked are Leon Edwards and Nathaniel Wood.
Nice. So yeah, he's not getting 3 points this week, boys. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Fuck off.
Wait, you waiting for me?
I said, yeah. I thought you were looking at your list. You were like, me?
I did not hear my name.
Hey, he muted. He muted.
Come on, bro.
Okay. my dog of the week, I'm going with Loughran. I think he's gonna
Loughran.
get that win. Loughran, thank you. Name's killing me on this one. Loughran. I think he's gonna win this one. I think dog of the week. It's close enough odds. It's a close fight. He could take it, so he's my dog of the week. And I have like 4 dogs on this card.
Ooh, cross.
I'm going with Leon here for my dog of the week. I just think, just got a very bad taste in his mouth in his last fight, and it's going to come out looking to redeem himself.
Nice. And for the purposes of the show, and only the show, because my picks to Leroy ain't what I've discussed on this. Because ain't none of you been tracking how many dogs I've placed whilst we've been talking on here. It definitely ain't free. I can tell you that. So, Nathaniel Wood. Let's say that. Let's say it's Nathaniel Wood. But you'll all find out tomorrow when Leroy puts his shitty little graph into the chat where my sneaky pick is actually going to go. But anyway, all 73 of you, thank you very much for tuning in. We are heading down, I am heading down to UFC London tomorrow morning, wheels up at 7:25. Can't fucking wait to get there. Can't wait to go and meet Ola. I can't wait to go and watch some of this beautiful violence that we love to see every single weekend. Thank you to all the boys for tuning in and joining with me on this week. Obviously, Ola's not here. Ola, I hope you're having a great time. As I said earlier on, brother. Owen, thanks for joining in late. And a big shout out to just all the regulars that join in every single week. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what time it's at. Doesn't matter that we're late every week. And that's obviously Dick's Insider. You know what I mean? Raj, you're always jumping in there too, brother. You know what I mean? Anybody else that we've got in there? Osterberry's always joins in. Leroy, unfortunately, always joins in.
Moody's always in here. Anakin's always in here.
Boom.
Juice Man's always in here. Yeah.
I mean, obviously Combat Sports Today always jump in too. Like massive appreciation for all you boys jumping in. Make sure if you're not already, you're following the MMA Anomaly Show. You are following Kick 'em in the Head. You are following Crossover MMA and myself, the Rambling Dad. Anyway, up until next time, people. Peace out.
Peace.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.